What is going on, you guys? Bashtian here, and today coming at you with my re-uploaded and reimagined Predaplant deck profile. So if you guys are subscribed to the channel, you may have seen that I uploaded a deck profile for this exact deck 2 days ago, and I actually recorded that one right before the ban list hit, so I didn't realize how much it actually affected the deck, so I had to go ahead and take that down real quick, re-record. But if you guys are not aware, I put a poll on the channel. Go ahead and put it up on the screen here, putting up all the decks that we want to go ahead and see coming out of Dimension 4 specifically. And I know that Predaplant is actually getting some really amazing support coming out of this brand new set, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it with you guys, as well as talk about how the ban list actually affected this deck quite a bit. Actually lost a lot of versatility, unfortunately, due to the ban list. With Predaplant Vertebrate Anaconda getting hit, it actually hurt the deck quite a bit, as far as again, having a little bit more variety with the deck. So what I mean by that essentially is, with a Vertebrate Anaconda deck, of course it was a Predaplant card. It flows very well with the archetype, you know, fusion summoning, things like that, but it gave us access to also the branded fusion engine as well. So Fallen of Albas, Mirror Jade, all cards that the deck could very easily go ahead and just meld into it. I also spoke about potentially adding DPE into this deck as well, potentially, but again, that dream is dead, killed, gone forever. So now we can focus on a pure version of the Predaplant, which I actually think is really cool, because with this it is actually a lot more I feel like consistency with the deck. So it's not going to be a more it's not going to be a blowout deck, as I believe the more with the version with Predaplant Anaconda was going to be, because you could just add whatever nonsense into it and you'd be good to go. But I think it's going to be actually a really cool, consistent mid-range deck that actually has an amazing grind game as well. So I can't wait to go ahead and get into it, guys. Starting off with the monsters. So, starting off with the brand new monsters coming out of Dimension 4, or at least a few of them, the pendulum ones I should say, Predaplant Triantis, and then Predaplant Buffolicula. So, I'm going to absolutely just butcher and obliterate all of these names, so they will all be in the description below. If you guys have not paid attention, I've actually been starting to put the deck lists typed out in the description below, so go ahead and check that out. Leave a like if you could on the video for that as well. So this is all gonna be written out, so if I absolutely just butcher, you can't understand me, then that, you know, you good. Just go ahead and read it down in the description below. So we're gonna play 3 of each of the new pendulum guys. So basically Triantis and Buffolicula. Triantis is really good because it really enhances the deck's ability to just throw out a whole bunch of predator counters. Which, if you guys don't know, have an amazing effect where essentially pretty much like negates effects, things like that. So it's really good to go ahead and just spread them out all over your opponent's board. Also has some good synergy with some further cards we're going to talk about in just a little bit as well. And Buffolicula, what I really like about this card is that it isn't actually a fusion card. So you actually go ahead and put this in your pendulum scale, and then during your main phase you can fusion summon a dark monster using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. And what I found out about this card is pretty cool. You actually use another monster in the other pendulum scale, because technically I guess would be a monster. I'm not sure if that's a legal play. That's something that YG Pro needs to go ahead and fix, so definitely go ahead and play around with that, because I'm not sure how exactly the ruling is on that one, I'll be honest with you guys. But if that does work, it's going to be absolutely crazy to go ahead and fusion something with your scales. Absolutely wild. Next, you play triple of the Predaplant Orphys Scorpio, and then double of the Darlington Cobra. This actually takes me back a lot to, I believe it was Zodiacs who used this engine to go into MX Saber Invoker. I think when the deck first came out, I think it was late 2017, early 2018, one of those periods. Speaking of which, if you guys do like that type of that era, Zodiacs got a huge boost by having 10 key to 2, and Trickstars also got their life stage back, so be on the lookout for those deck profiles coming up in the near future as well. But anyway, so really amazing cards. Basically they allow you to go ahead and so Orphys Scorpio will special summon the Darlington Cobra, and then Darlington Cobra, go ahead and add to your hand a polymerization spell or fusion spell from your deck to your hand. So really amazing card. Actually searches Super Polymerization, so it's really nice that it gets that done as well. because essentially Super Polymerization, I'm surprised it wasn't touched actually, because it's actually a phenomenal card. Any deck that can play this card and make it searchable should definitely be considered at least a tier 2 or higher deck, just by being able to go ahead and get this card in your deck alone. I personally believe Predaplant is going to be a tier 1.5 deck on that board between tier 1 and tier 2, but we'll see again how the format unfolds. Next, I play the Edge Imp, the Frightfur package, just because it adds a lot more consistency. You make sure you get your polymerization into your hand, and you're always gonna have follow up. Plus, they are dark monsters, have a lot of good synergy with the following cards we play in the deck as well. So triple Edge Imp Chain. Next to the back to the Predaplants, I play triple of the Predaplant. Wow, Chlamydosundew. I promise these are all going to be written right down below, guys. So really good monster as well. This guy's really cool because he can also fusion summon using any monsters with predator counters, including your opponent's monsters as well. So it's really amazing. You're pretty much going to be fusing off of your opponent's monsters, and they're also treated as darks while this guy's on the board. So really good synergy as far as that goes as well. And we do play some really powerful Super Poly targets in the extra deck also, which are actually Predaplant specific, so that's really nice as well. Next, for the only hand trap that I'm playing triple DD Crow. Why would I have this as my only hand trap? Essentially, I feel like starting to move away from a more hand trap heavy format, at least the way Predaprime is playing. They're playing any hand trap, so I'm trying to take a page from their book, see how that works out for us. Also, it has amazing synergy with Allure of Darkness, have everything being dark in the deck, so you never really have a stale hand. Also, DD Crow is a phenomenal hand trap against Predaprime. Does work against Sword Soul, does work against Tri Brigade. You know, all these other decks are really good. You know, agents, things like that. So DD Crow actually puts in a lot of work low-key, especially with the Drytron deck getting a huge boost with Benton coming to 2. I think DD Crow should see a lot more competitive play now that that is back in the fold as well. Next, we play 3 copies of the Predaplant Byblisp. So Byblisp is a really cool card. Basically, whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Predaplant monster from your deck to your hand. It's like a Sangan for the deck, but overall extremely useful because a lot of times you're going to be sending this from your deck to the graveyard, and it immediately gets its effects. So it's a really good card. And then 1 copy of your Predaplant Sarraceniant to go ahead and wrap off the deck. I know, not wrap off the deck, wrap off the monster lineup as well for the main deck, guys. So essentially, I know I butchered a lot of these names. Again, it's going to be written down in the description for you. Now on to the spells. For these spells, guys, we play 3 copies of Polymerization, basic Polymerization, to go ahead and combo off with our Frightfur Patchwork and our Edge Imp Chain as well. Phenomenal engine, adds a lot of consistency. It is very good at what it does. Next, for more consistency cards, I want to play triple Allure of Darkness. I did consider very heavily playing the Pot of Desires, which I'm not really against, again, with this type of deck, because you're playing a lot of 3-ofs in the deck. And regardless, you're going to have dark monsters in your deck, so you're going to be okay as far as that goes. However, I feel like Allure of Darkness is just a little bit more consistent, doesn't get rid of any of your pieces essentially. You're still good to go ahead and completely go off with your entire deck. And even if you banish dark, I mean, essentially you're going to be just fine. If you banish one of the pendulum guys, or banish one of the Edge Imp Chains, your deck will still function just as well. Having everything dark makes this deck a lot more consistent. Again, we're playing Allure of Darkness over Pot of Desires. I personally believe you're still going to get that draw too, and getting rid of 1 card is not going to affect you whatsoever. Next, we play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Again, it's searchable, does what it does, enough said. 2 copies of your Predaplast. So this is pretty cool. Again, just getting the predator counters out there as well. 1 copy of the Predaprime Fusion. Just a quick play, fusion cards are really just phenomenal. Just be able to go ahead and interrupt your opponent's board, so definitely want to go ahead and keep an eye out there. Plus, again, searchable. And then your 1 copy of Instant Fusion. We did get a phenomenal Instant Fusion target as well with Predaplant Ambulomelioides, which we play at 3 as a 3-of. So I think Instant Fusion is the best way to go ahead and just immediately go ahead and get this guy out. Gets you a free body on board, and with fusion decks, the more bodies you get on board, the better, because you have the more resources to go ahead and fuse with to get into bigger and bigger fusion monsters as well. And that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. 40 card main deck, not too crazy, not 41, 42, 43, 44. I know a lot of decks recently have been going a little bit higher as far as that goes, not really caring about exactly how much cards they have in their deck, but this is actually going to be probably the most consistent version of Predaplant we're going to see, at least in my point of view, for the current format and with the current ban list as well. So that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. Now on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, guys, start off with the Link monsters. Play 1 copy of Linkuriboh, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Knightmare Phoenix, and Knightmare Unicorn, the Nightmare package, of course. Really good as well. Get rid of like pesky Mystic Mind decks, any BS spell trap your opponent has, branded, lost, whatever. Just go ahead and get rid of it, kill it with fire. And then Knightmare Unicorn, of course, is staple. Essentially, any deck that can play it. Essentially, Nightmares are absolutely phenomenal. 1 Apollousa bow of the god is going to be the last of the Link monsters. The rest is all going to be fusion monsters, and I'm very excited for it. So we play 3 copies of the Predaplant Ambulomelioides. So what this guy allows you to do is, if this card is fusion summoned, you actually go ahead and add a Predaplant monster or 1 Predap spell trap from your deck, graveyard, or face up extra deck to your hand. So you can add whatever you want from anywhere to your hand as long as it's not banished. So actually really good. It also works with the predator counters as well, so it has that synergy also. Next we play 1 copy of Predaplant Chimerafflesia. Not the most optimal card to go into, but still an essential part of the deck as well. 2 copies of Predaplant Dragostapelia, a phenomenal card for the deck and a great target for Super Polymerization, and a lot of these cards which allow you to go ahead and fusion summon with your opponent's monsters as well, or any card on the field essentially. So really good as far as that goes. 1 copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. I want to go ahead and give this deck as much versatility as possible. Again, I know it lost a lot of versatility by Verte and Brand Fusion. However, I think that playing Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is really good, especially going up against like Predaplast or DDD, which is a tier 2 deck at the current moment. There's a lot of dark cards in the current format in the meta that I think could be a threat. So just go ahead and super polying them away, go into a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. You don't have to worry if they're a fusion, if they're a dragon, you know, any type of restriction. They just have to be darks. So really versatile as far as that goes. And next we're going to play 1 Predaplant I'm not going to try that one, but it's going to be in the description below, so go ahead and check that out as well. So an amazing, phenomenal card, just 3 dark monsters on the field, gains attack equal to the total attack of all other monsters on the field with a predator counter. Again, you can put it on your monsters, their monsters, doesn't matter, it's going to be a huge monster. When your opponent with special summon monster from their extra deck while you control this fusion summon card, quick effect, you can negate the summon and destroy that monster. Absolutely phenomenal effect. And then if your opponent controls a monster with a predator counter, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in defense position. So absolutely monstrous card, the phenomenal effect. The fact that it can bring itself back, negate summons, really just phenomenal card. Next, 1 copy of the Guardian Chimera. We're playing a fusion deck and we play Polymerization. We have 1 slot for it. That's all we really need. Do I wish I could make this with Branded in red? Yes, of course, but we're not playing that deck right now. So 1 copy of Guardian Chimera should be good to go as far as that goes. And then 1 final copy of the brand new boss monster. I believe this has come out of the Dimension Force as well. But our Starving Venom Predapower Fusion Dragon, that is a mouthful, let me tell you, my goodness. So this card actually does a lot for the decks. Basically, you need 1 Dark Fusion monster plus 1 Fusion monster going to summon it. So you can actually go ahead and use Super Polymerization to to fuse away your opponent's like Mirror Jade and all their nonsense to go ahead and summon this guy out. So it's really crazy. So once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you contribute 1 monster on either field with a predator counter, and if you do, negate the activation. So this is why spreading the predator counters is so crucial, because a lot of the boss monsters work really well with them. And being able to go ahead and tribute monsters your opponent controls as well as monsters you control, as long as they have a predator counter, is just phenomenal. And it's a 3600 beater. You know, this guy has a lot of things going for him, and I think Predaplants have a lot of hype, and it's definitely very well deserved. Honestly, I can see this deck again being a tier 1.5, potentially a tier 1 deck. We'll see how the format unfolds, but as of now, that is going to be it for the deck profile, guys. Again, I do want to go ahead and apologize for the misrelease of the early deck profile prior to the ban list 2 days ago. I'll most likely this be going up on Saturday, so thank you guys for sticking with me through this weird time, but again, if you guys enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like on the video, comment down below what deck you want to see next, and I'll go ahead and get that for you guys as soon as possible. Subscribe for more videos, guys. We got plenty of more deck profiles coming. We got for sure DDD, we got Trickstar coming up, and a lot more after that as well. We got Scareclaw, we got another theory on ABC post ban list. I know the one I posted again had the Aurora on as well, but again, subscribe for more videos, guys, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next one.